promise I'll stand by you all the way. Here is my shoulder. If you need a friend, I'll be your anchor on whom you can depend. With Monalisa.
Mary.
Yes, babe.
Are you aware that my mother is around?
Certainly. Of course.
Of course. And she hasn't eaten by 1:30 p.m.?
No, I mean, she has had her breakfast. I just came back from the market some few minutes ago, and the soup is on the fire. It will be ready in a bit.
The soup is on the fire?
Yes.
Can you hear yourself? The soup is on the fire by 1:30 p.m.?
Babe.
No, hold on. So are you telling me that my mother will not have her lunch until 3 p.m.?
Oh, no, I haven't said that. I even gave her some appetizers, some fruits. She had some fruits. The food will be ready in a bit.
Oh, okay. If she was your mother, can you do that, Mary?
Wait, the food...
You're a wicked woman.
Oh, no,
You're a mean woman. You want to stop... Come here. Come here. You want to kill my mother? Huh?
Now, here is a psychologist simply called the Celebrity Shrink. She's a consultant, neuropsychiatrist with over 10 years experience in her kitty, an alumnus of Albert Ellis Institute, New York, USA. She is also a certified trauma counselor, sexual and reproductive health expert, occupational health and safety physician, and neurofeedback practitioner. This amazing psychologist is the only Nigerian with 10 Ps: physician, psychiatrist, psychotherapist, practitioner, purpose-driven, publisher, professor in the making, productive, people-oriented, and passionate. She is a recognized radio and television psychiatrist and psychotherapist and contributes to articles. Please welcome Dr. Maymunah Kadiri.
Dr. Maymunah, thank you for coming on this show.
Thank you.
First of all, before we commence, there's this thing we usually do here, which is we usually take a pledge, and I'd like to have your hands. I, Maymunah, promise to say the truth, nothing but the whole truth, so help me God. You saw the movie.
Yeah.
I have experienced violence, and I watched in horror what transpired in my life. I want to ask you a question. Why do couples experience violence?
A whole lot goes on, and it's from the perpetrator, most times the man, and then the person that experiences it, the woman. So from what you see on the outlook, a lot of people, these are people that it can be intercultural marriage, it can be intracultural marriage, different backgrounds, different ways they've been wired, different life experiences, different upbringing, and they come together and they say, I do on that one day, which is wedding day. But marriage, which is unscripted, is an institution that people get involved with. So these are some of the reasons we see why people get violent. Some of them might have experienced violence one hand, like their own family, maybe the father, the mother, they come from a violent family setting.
Is it genetic?
It's not genetic, it's the way they wired they don't see it as a norm. There's a researcher, there's a psychologist, we call him Steligini. He talked about learned helplessness. Learned helplessness just depicts that when people find themselves in a particular situation, they either become the abuser or they become the abusee. They take that, I want to attack at every point in time, or they just sit back and just allow themselves to be.
It must be a mental shift. It must be a psychological...
A whole lot. It's in the mind of the abuser. There's so many things that go on there. So many. A lot of times they have this making excuses. They have this blaming factor because of what you did. that I'm reacting to.
Okay, let's take couples who are in the village.
Exactly.
You know what happens? Sometimes the women can't table the matter in public.
You're right.
They don't know who to turn to. How can they come out from such a dehumanizing experience they're facing in the village? Because nobody wants to listen to you.
They see it as a domestic thing,
Oh, it's
solve
a normal...
it, and then it becomes a vicious circle of violence.
These are couples or women who are not enlightened, like you and I,
Exactly.
who would stand up and take a decision, either
And
to
I
stay
do.
alive here
You're right.
or die.
So I've been told, I've been groomed that marriage is everything. You marry, stay there, whatever you meet there is whatever you deal with. And this is the way they are being programmed. So whatever they face in those marriages, they don't care. They just stay there. And other women, not even the men, other women encourage them by telling them, yours it may be better. Other people are experiencing the same thing. Why are you making so much noise about it? And then the traditional ruler is also there who may also encourage, look, this is marriage, it's for better, for worse. Of course, the religious leaders are also not helping issues.
No, they're not.
They're not.
It's a norm. In the village, it's a norm. Now, let's bring it back to modern day life and living. What is the legal or the judiciary system? What are they doing about it? Because you take a matter to the police with black eye, swollen face, you know, and they just tell you, go and sort it out. It's a family matter.
We need attitudinal change.
What does that
The
mean?
law enforcement agencies they are there to help individuals like us. If you've been battered, if you are being, if you face issues, not only it has to be a kidnapping or armed robbery issue.
That's what they seem to be facing,
yes,
isn't it?
Exactly. Domestic issues like this. Oh, my husband beat me up. My husband raped me. The World Health Organization is actually showing statistics that intimate partner violence is on the high rise. Because it's
Don't
not
bring
about
that to the Nigerian...
no, the police especially.
What is that about?
That go and solve it with your husband. It's a domestic issue. A domestic issue has turned into domestic violence, which leads to death. And people are not seeing this. So we need to change the attitude of the law enforcement agencies. We need to change the attitude with our friends and family members who are seeing that you are living in luxury and why are you complaining? It's not about the money. If your mind is, because everything, you see the scope of this floor now is in topography, low, medium, high. The mind also has a topography. We talk about the conscious level. We are in the conscious level. But a lot of things we do not agree with, we want to repress, we take them to the subconscious mind.
Is that part of the modern day living for women? Because they know, they see. They are the one taking the hit, the beating, the disgrace, everything.
Several
they
reasons,
don't want to
exactly. Several reasons why women are still in violent relationship.
I can't
Several
understand.
reasons. Some people just want to play the God.
What do you mean by playing
I
the God?
can change this man. I can change him for who he is. To the fact I know that I saw these characteristics in him before marriage. If I marry him, I can just. So people have that
I'm sorry
norm.
I don't think
Some people
so.
have that. Some people
I
just
don't
believe that
think
they
so.
don't have option.
That's the word. That's
Some
the
people
word.
think they
Not
don't
I
have
can
option.
change the man while you're... How do you...
Yeah.
Would you stay alive to change
Some
the person?
women actually believe that way. Some people believe that they don't have any other way to, any other place to go to, anywhere to dwell in.
Yes, I
So
agree.
they are not empowered, financially insecure and all that. Why some women, because they came from violent family setting, they were never told how beautiful they were, how important they are. They just see a man who is charming, who goes through the circle of the abuse. That is tension, they explode, then they go through the honeymoon. Because most violent men are charming. They have a lot of characteristics in common. And then they beat you, they come and buy you things. So the women...
Let's stop here. We'll come back right after this time out. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and we're still on this hot topic called domestic violence with Dr. Maymunah. Doctor, what can the act against violence, prohibition, against women, what can that act do?
A whole lot, because at least they'll be able to seek for help, seek for help in the right places, seek for help at the right time, and seek for help from the right set of people.
Right places. What are the churches doing?
That's our biggest force right now, because
the religious sector, the traditional, what are they doing about it?
Because a whole lot of people worship their leaders, and it trickles down. Oh, my pastor said, my malam said. If they can preach the belief system, that these people will know that when you face violence, you can live, not because you are not following what the scriptures are saying, that marriage is good, divorce is not.
Yes.
But your life is at stake here. Your sanity is being threatened. And the children that are in that marriage, children see, they hear, they feel whatever goes on between daddy and mommy. They are like this plain blackboard. We parents write in them. We are the primary unit for every child before they.
It's the kids.
They're like they suffer. So a whole lot, when the children are thrown out into the larger society where they see other people, they act that way and they see it as norm. And someone is telling them, no, this is not, but this is how we do it in our home, in my house. So you see that they get wired in a certain way that the larger society is not defining as norm. And that's a bigger problem. So for we now, what are we driving at? We are driving at our old age, we want to retire and rest. But this kind of parents, at the end of the day, like, it's the circle. Your children are suffering. And if you care much about your children, especially the woman, you see her, she's never settled. Because the woman, a girl is married and she either takes the role the mother was taking. Oh, my dad beats her and she never complains. And she goes through that circle.
Can I say something? I believe that 90% of women accept to be in an abusive relationship. I take, for instance, the man comes home, either drunk or tired from work. You pounce on your wife. You tear her up, and then you begin to have sexual intercourse with her, whether she likes it or not. Every single day she's being ripped by her husband. My question, what is she? Is she also, what?
Is she okay to tolerate such violence? What
is wrong with her mental state? She's gotten used to that kind of life, having to make sure that she satisfies her husband in that manner. Or I want to believe that she probably enjoys being stripped of what makes her
a number of them don't enjoy it.
I don't
but
think
the
so.
Society, the truth is that
you can't keep
a lot of people
say
the society,
we're losing our women.
And they're dying every day. Every day women are dying from violence. And that is just those that you hear about, the media talk about. The larger percentage don't come to the front burner. Like, this is what killed this woman. It may just be, she died peacefully.
Speak up. Why is that?
Peacefully in her sleep. Because the closest people to her that she can even trust to tell us, shh, everybody is suffering. You should be the first. Do you want to drag yourself outside? Don't go and disgrace us. So your mother is preaching that to you. Your siblings are preaching that to you. Especially if you are in a quarried home where fleet of cars, loads of money. That man is practicing in psychology what we call fragmentation, whereby he's so good outside. Everybody sees him as the best of husband.
That's right.
But he steps in, he's an animal.
That's right.
And the woman is screaming that this is what she's going through. They're like, why are you trying to disgrace yourself? This man is the perfect gentleman. And then the man will start playing the victim.
Because half the time they have multiple
personality. Yes.
You're out there with your wife or your spouse or whatever. You present, a fantastic couple. You come back home, you begin to verbal abuse. You
Starting from there,
curse her.
No, they say what they call it. When they're out there projecting that lovey-dovey man, we call it public display of affection. Or PDA, oh, this is my darling wife. And everybody's like, you are enjoying, no. But in your mind, you know that when you step in behind the doors, every other thing changes. And that is the time we are telling women, come out, speak out, because people just feel that they are being identified. Oh, if I leave my marriage, what will the society? Who makes up the society? You and I.
More on this after this time out. Hi, it's Candid Lens, and here we tell you as it is. Have you ever heard of cheating apps and websites? Well, you've got quite a few now. And you know what that means? Now, I'm not talking about the apps that helps you track a cheating partner. I am talking about apps that helps you cheat without being caught. Yes. I can name quite a few. Blender, Ashley Madison, Slidial, Cats, Volti Stocks, Black SMS, and so on. I bet you'll be damn shocked to find out how much these apps and websites are patronized. Take for instance, Ashley Madison. She has over 19 million subscribers. What? Just to cheat. And do you know its slogan? Life is too short, so have an affair as you like. Guess what? Some wacky fella hacked into this crazy website and published the names of its members. My God. It was simply crazy. Wives, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend scratched their heads really hard for explanation. You want to know whether your partner has a cheating app on that beautiful smartphone? Call me. Check us out same time next week on Candid Lens. Right now, it's still you and I.
In the world today, getting married is like walking into the unknown, like a gulf or pitch darkness. This is so because over 1/3 of women today experience domestic violence in the hands of their spouses or intimate partners. They are bruised and battered, and the world now spends about £23 billion annually to treat domestic violence. The fundamental human rights of these women are crassly violated while the world watches. What should these women do? Where is hope? Who should be their messiah? Dr. Maymunah Kadiri speaks more on this traumatic in-culture of violence and oppression.
The woman. Would you consider that if she speaks a bit too much to her husband in reply to whatever, the unspeakable things he may throw at her, do you think if she keeps quiet more, do you think the violence will automatically reduce?
That is internalization.
What do you mean by
Internalization, when she goes through a whole lot, she suppresses it down into her subconscious.
For peace.
For peace. We say sometimes go deaf and dumb in marriage just because you want your sanity of your mind. But the truth is that when you keep on for too long,
sometimes it works for some people.
Anxiety comes in. It starts with the basic things. You are not sleeping well. It's either you are not eating well or you do emotional eating. Let me
tell you just a brief story. A chief, a traditional ruler, is married to this wonderful woman, of course, a queen. And then every time she nags, talks about all the time, and the man keeps hitting her all the time. She went to meet this certain Babalawo. Babalawo gave her 7 stones to put in her mouth. So and she came back home. Every time the man starts getting angry, she put the 7 stones in her mouth, and that keeps her mouth shut. But the man turned around to love her totally. What is that?
You see, I love what some of the religious are doing.
Yes.
A lot about marriage counseling, and there's what we call the love languages. You have to know what your husband really loves, and then what he doesn't, and then the man also because if your husband likes physical touch, and you're the woman that don't really like sex, you have to start working towards that your husband's first love language. The woman may love what is words of affirmation. I love you.
Men
you're
don't have
pretty.
time for that. Sorry.
Yeah, some of them. So you see, if your man is the type that loves sex, and then you woman, you're always saying, I'm having headache, I'm tired,
back pain.
Back pain. These issues will arise.
On the lighter note.
So we should actually look at this proper first thing first. You love a man, know that marriage is a wedding is a day, marriage is for life, it's unscripted. People should actually go for proper marriage counseling.
It
may
doesn't
be in the
work
church,
anyway.
it may be in, And it must not necessarily have to be the pastors and the malas. You could see it. I do a lot of counseling and marriage counseling for couples before marriage, because though they've gone to church, they've gone to the mosque, they have more of the mosques churches than the mosques doing that anyway. And then they come in and then they ask, we go through all these basic love languages and how to be a proper ideal woman in a marriage, not because the man may not, you don't know all these features before coming in.
Now, being a specialist, what do you say to women who enjoy being beaten before sexual intercourse?
It's a psychological issue. It's not, we have sexual dysfunctional disorders.
Because they like to be whipped.
Yeah. We have the masochism.
Masochism, that's right.
They tie them, they beat them and all that. We have several sexual disorders. So people like that, they are psychologically unstable. Because why would you want somebody to inflict pain on you before?
It's terrible. I
Sex
can't
is
even
supposed to be
imagine
enjoyed.
I can't imagine.
So why do you want pain before you start enjoying it? So there's definitely a disorder for that, and there's a name for it, for such people.
Fantastic. More on this after this time out. Welcome back. We're still on violence in the home with Dr. Maymunah Kadiri. I don't understand. The laws abroad protect women from this sort of violence. What is our country? Are we ever going to get to that stage where our laws will protect our women, rather than us, forming the Violence Against Women Association,
feminism,
I don't.
And then
that's
you are
what
protesting
on the road. Stop violence.
They say
What
educate
can
a
we
woman,
do?
educate a nation.
Can
A
we
woman,
do?
we know naturally they say they multitask.
And really, how many
Train a
women
woman.
can you counsel?
Can you cancel? That's
And
the truth.
how many women will go back home and apply these advice and counseling? How many of them will go back home and apply it and adhere strictly to what the
No, in all of this, women must also change their attitude.
That's my point.
Because women support women, women empower women, women stand for women. But when it comes to violence, you see women taking a different, they like play the devil advocate. What is it? Is she not enjoying it? Why is she complaining? Is it now that she's coming to talk about?
After the man has made money, she will not bring materialism and all.
You will see the women are the ones speaking and making so much, making terrible comments and statements that the woman would just believe that, if I pull out now, is it greener out? Is the grass greener?
It's actually not greener on the other side, really. Really, it's not. So now that I know that it's not greener outside, how do you advise somebody like me now? Do I stay or take a walk?
Your sanity in this current situation matters a whole lot. And there are a lot of what we call consequences that come when you lose your sanity. It's not only you as the individual, because you've already lost it. Those that are affected, there's a ripple effect back into the society. You've lost your sanity, you're on the street. Two things about you. Either your family members don't know where you are, or they know where you are, they don't want to identify with you. So why won't you take those preventive measures and take a walk when you are still alive and sing? It's deep. When you are still alive and sane, it's easier to nurture a healthy woman than to repair a damaged woman.
This is a story of so many women around the world. I have traveled that road too, and I know how it feels when you see your spouse and your heart skips in fear. They live in hell. I know what it is to be slapped, kicked, and punched. Now, millions of women around the world are living this hell every day. They are in marriages that are best described as prisons and pressure cookers, where they are dehumanized every day. The woman, the wife, is a human being. The average Nigerian woman lives with daily trauma. We cannot go on like this. This has got to stop. Till I come your way next time next week, stay blessed and be good.
Give me your hand, and I'll be afraid. I promise I'll stand by you all the way. Here is my shoulder. If you need a friend, I'll be your Monalisa's here for you. Through the laughter, through the tears.
You're welcome. You go welcome us back on Truth Camera. You're welcome.